Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I'm on Chess.com's Tactics Trainer, and I'm going to do a group of 3 puzzles and share my thoughts along the way. So in this first one, Team White. Oh, okay, this one doesn't seem to be too bad. This bishop and rook are on the same file. There's the option of pinning, and that's probably the solution. There's no tricks. After rook to b1, if d2, king takes, and there's no way for the rook to, let's say, move and get out of the pin. Yeah, this one isn't too bad. I don't think there's anything against the king, so my eye basically tended towards the queen side of the board here, where I have some pressure, noticing the tension on b5, attacker, defender. How to take advantage of this. Rook to b1 should do the trick. Okay, not a bad start. Simply king takes, and this pin is present, and that'll do it. Okay, certainly encountered much more difficult problems. Not bad to start, though. Get a not too difficult one in the beginning. Okay, let's see about this one where we're playing as black. Okay, the first thing I'm thinking about is that this pawn is pinning the king, and so a move like queen g3 is possible. This pawn really isn't defending g3. If queen g3, king f1, queen takes f2 is mate. And we can't play here. The queen controls this. Let's see. I'm wondering if there's some quiet move we could make, but it's probably something direct here. This is a loose piece. If we do a material count, in fact, we're down a lot of material. So just trying to scoop this up is no good. Well, also for the reason of queen takes bishop with check, so we have to be pretty direct here. Queen g3, king h1, what would we do there? For a moment I thought about queen g3, king h1, bishop takes f2, controlling g1 and threatening queen h3 mate, but that gives white time to do some checking moves and stuff, maybe checking on this diagonal. And I really don't want to give white a moment to breathe. I don't want to give white a free move, so this should be pretty direct. We could do a little zigzag stuff, like queen g3, king h1, and then try for queen h4. I think that might be it. Yeah, I think that is it. Basically forcing the king to g1 and being able to take on f2 with check. Or even knight to h3. Notice queen g3, king h1, queen h4 check. King back to g1. Now there's 2 interesting checks available. Knight h3 and queen takes f2. I wonder which one it would be from there. Queen g3, so I'm pretty sure this is it, the first 2 moves at least. Queen g3, king h1, queen h4, forcing king back to g1. So basically this position, I'm trying to visualize it with the queen on h4, king on g, still on the same square. So with the queen on h4, basically, what would we do? Take on f2 with the queen, forcing king h1, and where can we go if, let's say, this initial position was with the queen on f2 and the king in the corner? What would we do there? Not really seeing it. We don't have g1 defended. I should say the rook is defending g1. We can't go to g1 for mate. The diagonal is covered by the queen. And, well, if we go back here, what would really be the difference? We could go back to h4 and give check. So g3, check, king h1, queen h4, check, king g1, queen takes f2, check, king back to h1. If we go back to h4, Oh, that's actually mate at that point, because the bishop would be controlling g1. Ah, that is it then. Queen g3. You see, what I was just doing there is trying to figure out the differences. The difference with this position with the f2 pawn absent. So I saw that we could go to g3, force king h1, queen h4 check, force back king g1, take the pawn on f2, king h1, and then I tried to picture what would be the difference without the pawn on f2. It's that the bishop controls g1 directly. So I think that this is it then. I'm making 1, 2, 3, 4. Queen g3, king h1, queen h4 check, king g1, queen takes f2 check, king back to h1, and then queen h4 is mate. That is correct. So here check, all forcing moves. Here check, and now finally queen back. And that'll do it. All right, not too bad. Let's see if we could go 3 for 3 in this one. Team White. Oh man. Seems like an endgame study. Oh man. Okay. Tough. Yeah, that's my first thought, is that this is tough. Okay. Yeah, I'm already thinking that this is some stalemate trick. Let me point that out right away. Because black is just one move away from getting a queen, we really cannot stop that with our king or knight. And if, let's say, we start with a push, king here, he'll be able to hunt this pawn down. So black is in no danger of, let's say, white successfully promoting to a queen, in other words. I think I see the idea. I think the idea is to force black to capture this pawn and also this knight, and then at the end there's this move king to h3, attacking the pawn, and if it promotes to a rook or a queen it'll be stalemate, which may seem a little bit awkward, but I think the idea is to actually have this knight sacrifice itself on the g5 square, and after pawn takes, this pawn will be controlling h4, forcing king h, and then when king h3 is played, attacking the pawn, black has to push it and promote to something. A rook or queen, it'll be stalemate, because controls all the g-file squares, and h4 will be controlled. So how could we manage that? Just kind of gathering information here. I believe I know how it does work. The first move is to push, most likely, just to generate a threat of promotion. So on h7, king here is necessary. And then this is where it becomes very important, this next move. I think move 2 is knight f7. The second move, I believe, is critical. h7, king g7. Promoting right away, I think, is incorrect because of king takes. And then knight f7, check, king to g7. And black is just going to promote. I think the idea is to make sure that we can land on the g5 square with check. If the check is sidestepped with the king moving, then the knight can return to f3 or h3 and be in time to defend against the g-pawn. So therefore, I believe the solution will be h7, king g7, and not the immediate promotion, but rather knight f7 threatening to promote, forcing king takes h7, and then we play knight g5 check. If the king moves, it's knight f3 or h3, and if the knight is taken, pawn takes knight with check, then we play king h3, And we're in an interesting position where no matter what black promotes to, if it's a rook or queen, it'll be stalemate. And if it's a knight or bishop, white can play king g4. It gets a little bit tricky, actually. You can play king g4. The king can play to, let's say, g6 to defend black's pawn, but then there's one key move, h4. Notice if black is promoting to a minor piece on g1, and with the king on g4, there is no way to check the king. If there's a knight or bishop on g1, the king on g4, there's no way to give check. So even if black comes up to defend the pawn on g5, there's h4, which would force the exchanging off of that last pawn, and then it'll be insufficient material. So I believe that this is it. h7 first. That is correct. And now the key move, knight f7, not promotion right away. That is right. Knight g5 check. That's correct. And now king h3. Don't want to allow promotion with check. And that's as far as they went. But again, if I'm to just go into the analysis board real quick, let me see if I could size this up. There we go. Yeah, so where were we at here? No, not that move first. Push here, knight f7. I don't know if it's going to allow me to change into the different, I don't know if I have it set where I could change into the different pieces for promotion. Yeah, I do. So a queen, this is stalemate. A rook, same story. If it's a bishop, we would have king here. The king could play here to defend, but now comes h4, and you cannot avoid the exchanging off of that. The pawn, and it'll be draw there. And then the same story with the knight, king g4. Probably should have taken it out a little bit more, those last two, in case of the minor piece promotion. And same story. It'll be insufficient material. So I kind of got the idea in this one pretty quick. I don't know if it's from seeing a similar type of puzzle previously, these ideas, but kind of just going to the initial position. Once you see that there's really no way to stop, let me bring it up here. Once you see that there's no way to really stop this pawn, you have to look for these little ideas of constructing a position where your king could end up in stalemate. And it involved the g5 square and forcing this pawn here. And the main idea was that second move, the key move, is knight f7. This is where you could have a lot of players go wrong, promoting right away, and then trying to get to f7. The idea is to get to g5 with check. And like we saw, king h3. All right, well, interesting group of three, pretty basic one to start, and I think a pretty cool one to end for this one. So, as usual, feel free to leave any feedback in the comment section below and share how you did with these three puzzles. So, that's all for now. Hope you're having a good day. Take care. Bye.